Hello, good morning and welcome to New Forest Morphs. Today we've got the scanner fully charged now. I know that a few of my viewers were looking forward to seeing a few more of the follicle growth on our girls. So later we're going to be just checking a few of our girls. We've got the dreamsicle girl, Peach, who's not been checked yet. She's pretty big, 2,000 kilograms. We've also got Tinka, who gave us a nice lock yesterday with, I think you put the crystal boy to her, didn't you, Jasper? So we're going to have a look at her follicles, and also we're going to look at maybe Pringle, Phoebe, and let's have a look. We've got
Celeste.
also, sorry,
Celeste.
Celeste is the other one I think we're looking at. So if we've got time, we'll do 3 or 4 girls. But before we do that, the eggs are due in about 7 days, Chad. Should we have a quick look and see how they're doing? Now we don't go in and out of there regularly, but I think just to let you know what you're looking for when you know your egg's almost ready to go, is come and have a little look, Jan. Let's see what we've got. So they've gone through the bulk of their journey so far, haven't they? They've just got another week to go. So I think if we bring them out just for a very brief period and just show you what they look like. We've got 8 beautiful clean eggs here, and you can see the dimpling is really starting to happen. And we'll just shut that as quick as we can, keep the heat in. And let's have a little look and see how they're looking. None of them gone mouldy. They're all almost as white as they were laid, Jad, aren't they? Which is pretty incredible. There we go. So what are you looking for, Jad, when you know the eggs are starting to...
Like this one here, for instance, you got the dimples.
Yeah.
You can start to pinch it a bit more.
Dimpling, 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 dimpling. These two are less dimpled. So...
yeah, like if you touch them, you see they're dimpling a lot.
Yeah.
But
so that's really good. So that's what you're looking for. And we're going to hopefully get some pippers next week. And as soon as we see a couple starting to pip, we will then cut those eggs. And we're going for purple passions, Jad.
yeah, purple passion, 100% het ultra.
Yeah. So that's what we're looking for there.
Lots of ultra males we're going for.
Yeah. And the temps have been maintaining about 89%
Degrees.
degrees. Yeah. 89 degrees Fahrenheit. Slip those back. You do find it's actually a lot hotter towards the back of the incubator, Jad.
Well, just so what we've got a heat mat at the back, and then we've got a fan that blows the air around.
Yeah, but I've noticed that on the eggs, I've noticed that if you look at the back of the egg box, the ones at the back dimple quicker than the ones at the front, which is an interesting thing. The other thing is we've got over here last year's incubator. Now, Jad and I are going to plan to revamp this. So this is our slightly larger incubator, and we're going to change what we're going to do to this, Jad, to get it upgraded to
new thermostat,
new
heat
thermostat,
mats,
new heat
new
mats,
fan.
new fan. So we're going to revamp it. You can pick these up. For anyone that's looking to pick one up, if you've got any connections with the catering businesses out there, or maybe speak to some catering companies, they often have fridges that are kaput, sat in their facilities doing nothing, and you can literally pick them up for next to nothing. So it's worth checking any catering companies if you're trying to do an incubator on a low budget. That's just a top tip I got off another YouTuber who's actually linked to the catering business. So just a little idea there, so we can learn from each other. The other thing I did this morning is I noticed that my fogger, Jared, you can see how beautifully it's working at the moment. It's actually firing up like a volcano, and it dropped down to 50% humidity this morning, Jan, when I came in early. We got it back up to 57, but I spent 20 minutes servicing this, because what's happening, we live in chalk stream water here in the New Forest, and when you put water into any kettle or to any device, you find there's an awful lot of chalk calcium that builds up, which can block all the filters. So I very carefully went in and unblocked the filters, and now you can see how it's running nice and smoothly, which then, so this is why daily checking of temps and humidity is so important, because it only takes 2 or 3 days of it being on low humidity. It can affect the way the snakes are feeling. So it's really important to keep an eye on that, and keep it topped up at night as well, because in the morning you can come in and find it's at its very lowest. And if you don't top up, you can end up actually not having the right humidity. So there's a little thing that I've learned there. The other thing we did is when we were cleaning today, I've noticed that 1 or 2 of the rubs were higher than we set them temperature wise. And I think the only problem with having these controls so accessible is Jared and I think that we are inadvertently, as we're walking by, we might just be knocking the thermostats. So one of them was a little bit higher than I expected, and one was a little bit lower. So I think what we're going to do is be really careful going in and out of this space, Jared, because we may not realise it, that we're inadvertently knocking the thermostat, and we've really corrected. So checking temperatures on a daily basis is so important, because you just don't know what's going to be happening. If you walk past the thermostat and inadvertently knock it and just nudge it up or down, it can have a really negative effect on the snake, so it's worth checking that. The other thing we've done, Jared, as part of our preparation is we've ordered some extra heat mats, haven't we?
Yeah.
And why have we done that?
Just, it's always good to have a backup in case one blows out or one stops working.
Absolutely. You could get 40 heat mats. Now, so what we've done is we've learnt from the COVID experience last year that many of our friends were struggling to get heat mats to expand their collections. Now that the supply chain has improved, this is the time to get them in as backups. So it's always good to have backups. So we got in, how many did we get, Jared?
10?
10? So we ordered 10 heat mats, because these are now coming up for over a year old. Now they should last 5 years at least, shouldn't they, Jared? Maybe longer. It depends on how you look after them. But if they go down for any reason and you haven't got backup, what are you going to do? Yeah. So it's really important to have backup materials backing up your collection. And as your collection gets bigger, the more backups you need to cover. So just a couple of points there. The other thing is we had a interesting question from Ed, Ralph's. He's got a YouTube channel. He's got some amazing snakes. Please go check him out. So Ed asked a question about how do you insure your snakes and your facility. Now it's quite hard to get insurance. There's not a lot of insurance companies that actually cover insurance on your snakes. But what we're finding is there are 1 or 2 top breeders who are able to get insurance, and they are negotiating that with the insurance companies through business insurance, and the premiums are quite high, but it's worth looking into it. And in the UK we believe there are several companies out there that will have a look at it, and I think one of them that we've used is NFU Mutual. Now NFU Mutual provide insurance for farms and small holdings, so it might be worth just giving them a call. If you're worried about insuring your collection, by all means give them a call and see if they can quote for your collection of snakes, because obviously, you know, as your collection grows they're going to become more valuable, and it's important to make sure that you can cover them for insurance cover. So it's a good point, Ed. Let us know how you get on, and thank you for raising that question. The other thing is Rob, I want to give Rob at Raw Balls a big shout out today. So I'm wearing his t-shirt. Thank you, Rob, for all your love and support, particularly over the last year or so. We've been adopting a lot of your methods, the rhythm of the room, as we've been talking about, and it's been very effective, and we're very grateful for that. So Rob's doing a couple of things at the moment. He's doing a new series, a beginner's series, which we're finding quite helpful because we've only been doing this a couple of years ourselves, and he's going over some of the basic techniques and tips for keeping and breeding ball pythons, and I really look forward to the next one that's coming. The other thing that Rob's doing at the moment is the bulk of his clutches are all coming round about now, so he's releasing videos giving us an update on how his projects are doing. And I really enjoyed the last one, which was the Xantic Clown project, which he gave us a history of how long he's been building that project and the steps that he's taking, and the value of the hets to the breeders is actually very, very important. So never underestimate the power of a het, and it's a great way of getting into a project. An example would be, for example, if you were thinking about going into the Super Cine Pied project, you could actually have one visual cinnamon against another visual cinnamon. Put those together, there's a 1 in 4 chance you could hit a Super Cine. And we did that last year, didn't we, Jared? And should we have a quick look and see how she's doing? Because she is progressing really well. Shadow is one of our babies from last year. Now she's moved up to her adult rack, and she's one of Jared's favourite snakes. Isn't she lovely? And she's coming close to what, 900 grams, Jared?
Yeah, I reckon at least.
Maybe 1,000. She's nailing food, eating really well.
Yeah.
And you're finding that her gold flecking and her colour, is she getting deeper, blacker colours?
It's going more of like a dark brown.
Yeah.
But it's beautiful still.
So probably next year, if she gets up to size, she's 100% het for pied, she'll be a fantastic part of our Panda Pied project. We've just got to decide. Now this year, you notice we put Elvis, our pastel cine pied, to Sienna to try and shoot for some more Panda Pieds. Now last year when we tried it, or at least 2 years ago, we ended up with really good odds, some lovely pieds, but I think we had 2 white Panda Pieds that were both severely kinked, which is such a shame. And this year we're going to try and drop the temperatures down on the incubation side, do a slow, steady cook, to see if that will help fix the problem. Because people have told us, other breeders have done that, and they've been able to get cinnamon to cinnamon actually produce perfectly fine pandapides. I know a lot of other people have had not a good experience, so we're going to give it one more shot. But the other idea we've got is to invest in a mahogany pied, which is another possibility. And if we can get hold of a mahogany pied ready for when all these girls, then we've got so many cinnamon pied girls that will be ready next year. This is the time to pick up your male for next year, so you can bring him on, get him up to size, and then actually plug him into your project. So we should, obviously once the winter's over, because obviously when you're traveling, things can go big time wrong in cold climates. So maybe it might be worth waiting for the spring to pick up your new boys. So when they travel, they'll be traveling in warmer climates, and it won't be so cold for them. So let's just go on to the ultrasounding now. So we'll start with Peach, who is our beautiful dreamsicle girl. Here she is. We'll bring her out, Jared, and then we'll just put her on the side. That's lovely. And let's just see how she's doing. She's been a fantastic animal for us. She's been pounding food. I don't think she's even missed even in shed. She's been absolutely incredible. So just put her hide up there. And she's about getting close to 2 kg, Jared. Not far off it. So we're hoping that she's developing some really nice follicles here. So we'll get the ultrasound working and have a look and see how she's doing. So first of all, we're just going to put the gel on there, and you'll see it will go white, Jared, when we do it. Be nice and generous with that. Doesn't want to come out. Oh, there we go. It helps to pull it out, guys. There we go. You can see the screen goes beautifully white. We'll just leave that there. And then what we do is we'll straighten her out. So she's likely to have follicles around about this area here. So let's just see if we can see any in there, Jared. Have you seen anything? You see anything there?
Not yet. There's loads of little dots at the top. I think that's probably a spine, isn't it?
Yeah.
Any more gel?
No, I've got plenty of gel. Anything happening there? Can you see anything?
Not yet.
She's coming, she can smell it. Hey, look, look, can you see? She wants to lick it. She's very curious about what's going on. Let's just pull that over a little bit more.
Sorry, you can have to knot it.
We've got it in a knot, haven't we? Let's just turn that round, that's it. You can see her rib cage quite clearly. Can you see anything in the way of follicles? No. Maybe a little bit more gel. What have we got there? What's that? Is that her bladder? You see that long thin thing there?
Yeah.
That could be her bladder. We've got to go below the bladder. Don't see anything yet. Maybe we'll try a little bit more gel, Jack. We pass me the gel. I might straighten her body out. I think straightening the body does help us see what's going on. Let's just see if we can just straighten her out a little bit. Come on, darling. Can you see anything there?
No.
Oh, there you go. Just freeze that, Joe. Freeze it.
What are you seeing there?
I can see a lot of balls. You can see these balls here. They're all together. They're 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So they're actually quite small. I'll just clean this off, get some tissue, and let's just measure those and see how big she is. So I think they're quite small at the moment. Let's put that over there. Let's just clean her down. You've been a good girl. Well done. I'm going to slip her back. She's been well behaved, Jared.
Yeah.
Not running off. We'll give her a hide back, we'll slip her back, and then we'll just measure the size of the follicles and just see how big they are. So I think she might need a bit more time to build before we pair up. I'm guessing they're about 7 mil, is what I'm guessing, Jared. So let's have a look and see exactly how big they are. We go to measure. Just trying to remember how to do this now. So where's my set button? It's there. Distance. And then let's go up to the follicles. There's one there. We'll go to freeze.
No, set.
I think it's freeze. Isn't it?
Oh, freeze it.
Oh. Sorry, Jared, you can see it. I think we can kind of guess that they're below 10, shall we?
Yeah.
We won't bring her out again, so we know that she's under 10. Sorry. You can see I haven't done much of this, but yeah, I should have actually pressed set there. So
Pride is the fall of men.
Right, let's go to the next one. Which one should we try next, Jared? Should we try Tinka? Because that was the other one that I was really...
Sure.
She was very chunky, and let's see whether we can get her to check her size. So we'll put her in here. Again, she's getting close to that 2K mark, isn't she? She's a bit shyer than the other girl, but hopefully she'll let us. Come on, darling, don't be shy. She is a little bit shy. You can see how she's a little bit nervous. So she's 100% het for pied, and what we'll do is we'll just see whether we can. What I might do is just check the back end of her. There we go. And let's see what we've got in terms of follicles. Anything happening there, Jared?
Don't see anything yet.
See anything that looks like a marble? Rib cage. It's not easy doing this.
It looks like part of the thing, isn't it? Oh yeah, it's not actually touching the snake.
So
There you go.
I might switch with you, Jazz. You seem to be better than me. Do you want to have a go? Jazz seems to be a lot better at doing than I am. Just watch her because she's likely to come at you a little bit. You might want to put some more gel in there.
So that's a rib cage.
We've got a rib cage there. Searching for that. Do you want a bit more gel on there? See if that might help. Squeeze a bit more gel, I do find it helps. Give that a go. It's better. A lot clearer. Look how clear it is when you put gel on there. Yeah. And the angle of the probe is key to getting these follicles. Ah, there you go, the same there. You can see a little round shape there. You see there's a little round shape there?
Not really.
There you go. Right, hold that.
What was
Set.
it?
It's set, isn't it? Oh, that was freeze. Sorry, that's the time to freeze it. Right,
Find it again.
put a bit more gel on there and you might see it better, Jared.
There you go.
Got it?
Oh, that's pretty good.
Can I freeze that? Yeah, I've got it now. Well done, Jared. Cool, that was hard work trying to find that. So, we can now measure it. We'll give her a clean first to get her back. So her follicle size is still quite small. I'm going to guess about 8 mils, what I'm going to guess, Jack. Slip her back. Sorry, Dad, I need to do this to you. She is a bit of a shy animal, but at least we found the follicle there. There we go. We'll slip you back. And let's just measure the Tinka and see where we are. So, measure, press set, distance set.
I'm sure as we get better at this, we'll see more eggs.
Yeah, there we go, Jazz. So let's go on the downer. And let's go on the left hand side. And then we go on the right hand side. Well, we've got 7.8, so I reckon it was about 8 mil. So quite small, but she needs about another 2 or 3 weeks before she's really ready to pair. Although having said that, we got a log, didn't we? It might stimulate the growth.
Yeah.
So it's not absolute science, dead science, going 10 mil. I think the fact that they're locking could hopefully stimulate her, and also it proves that the boy gets the boy going as well. We just got time for one more, Jad, so it'll probably be Celeste, I think. Will be the one that I think we'll go for. Let's have a look at her. And again, if you want to do the probing, Jad,
Sure.
and I'll do the video. Let's just see how she's looking. Now she is a phantom yellow belly, pastel phantom yellow belly girl, and I think she went to the. Do you remember what we put to her?
It was a bamboo Mojave het Ultraman.
And they locked, and she's on runabouts. This is where the pillowcase would be handy, Jared, as Rob recommends. But see whether we can. So now what I'll do is, while you're doing that, I'll unfreeze the screen. So Jared can then get the probe on there, get it going. Wow, straight away, you're straight on it, Jared. Unbelievable. No mess. Look, there they are. That's incredible. Just try and adjust the angle again. Good. And there's several there. You can see there's another one over here.
Yep.
One over here. So, Jared's the man. If you
Just
can do
under
it,
halfway, isn't it?
let's just see where you're getting it. So it's actually just under halfway. So I'm probably checking too low. I was told it was a third down, but it's actually halfway down is where the follicles are.
Yeah, just under half, I find.
Yeah, okay. So that's good to learn that. So we're learning as we go. I'll give her a quick clean up and we'll measure these, and then I think we'll call it a wrap, shall we, Jad?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's it, I'll get rid of that for you. Again, I think she's a similar size to Tinka. I think she's going to be maybe a little bit bigger, maybe 9. I think after a while, Jad, we get to the point where you recognise the size of the follicles by sight and you don't need to measure.
Yeah.
So let's just have a little measure and see. But well done. I mean, I think, Jad, you're hitting it straight away, whereas I'm still struggling to find. So well done for getting the technique. So I think it's actually going to be quicker once you know what you're looking for.
Yeah.
And where to go. And you got that almost immediately once you had the gel on there. So I think the key is having gel in the right spot, and then you'll be able to see it. I think we're going to get close to 9 here.
I'd say almost 6 or 7.
6 or 7. So you're right, 6.3 average. So quite small. So there you go. Some of our girls are quite small at the moment, but we got a lock. We got a lock from two girls, and so I think it's one of those where if you compare the ultrasound before and after the pairing, so what we're doing is an experiment. We're trying to make a judgment call to see if they're ready by feel and sight and other signals. And so obviously we paired 2 girls yesterday, mainly because the ultrasound wasn't charged up, but it works out quite well for us because we've done an experiment where we've actually bred with 2 girls that aren't quite up to 10. They both locked. The males are proven out as far as locking's concerned, and I don't think it's going to do any harm at all, even if they are 3 or 4 mil below what they should be. I think what we need to do now is we can now allow those girls to build those follicles. They've had their initial stimulation. The boys have had their initial stimulation, so I think that was still a very valid lock. The reality is that these girls have got to come on. Let's see how they pound food over the next few weeks, and then what we can do is we can compare the follicle size now with a month's time to see the rate of growth linked to the amount of food that they're pounding. So this will be a good experiment to see the girls that are 10 mil plus, how quickly they grow their follicles, and the girls that are 6 or 7 that are a little bit behind, how quickly they pick up as well. So thank you, Jared, for your love and support. Thank you everyone for your love and support, and we shall see you every weekend. Bye bye for now.